Okay. So there's nothing going on under the covers here that we're not talking about. There's basically just our two source files and an XC and a DLL. The XC is the driver demo that we'll be showing you. The DLL is the actual symmetric provider implementation. So if we enumerate all the providers on the system, you see that ours is actually already there, but we can certainly unregister it and re-register it.
So we have those 3 default providers in Vista?
Right, so these 3 are the ones that come stock on the box. Our default SSL protocol provider, the primitive provider, and our software KSP. So we can re-register our demo provider. And I can see that there's obviously our fabulously named one there. So now if we can just create, we're just going to show encryption and decryption of any old piece of data. So I'm just going to create a file here called plain.txt. And we'll say, when your laptop actually boots. That's my little message for the day. And we'll encrypt that with our provider. Just giving it the input file name and the output file name. And I have to spell CNG, right? So we're just doing the terrible thing that nobody should do and echoing the password all the way out to the console. I told you it was a really ghetto demo. This is a great password. And hopefully we encrypted it. We'll check here. Looks like it's encrypted. And we'll try to decrypt it. This is a great password. And yay, how exciting. So that's a really, really boring demo. If you've never done CAPI CSP. If you have and you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to get one of those working and installed in the system, then maybe you'll appreciate it. Otherwise, you're going to think that's the lamest demo in the world, and you're going to cream us on our reviews. Okay, so we'll look at source code here real quick just to make sure that we're actually doing something. So, Avi, you might want to avert your eyes because we're going to show source code now, and I don't want to offend your PM sensibilities or anything. We'll show this provider first. There's really only a couple of things that are interesting here.
No Visual Studio?
I told you it was a ghetto demo, right? I mean, this is actually another great feature of Longhorn we're having. This brand new programmer's editor called Notepad. It's not quite as feature rich as Visual Studio, but it's a lot easier to install. You have some mail too, by the way.
Dude, I saved your butt. Your laptop demo just hosed.
Okay, so in general, providers are expose functionality by returning a function pointer table. If you've done any kind of driver work, that's basically the way, the similar way that they do it. So we just basically are returning function pointer for each of these operations for our particular provider. For this, there's really only two or three interesting operations here. Generating the key, we just basically took in the took in the password text, and created an object out of it and returned the key handle. So there's really not much interesting going on there. And the encryption decryption operations checks a bunch of parameters, boring, and then does the actual encryption with a really super secret encryption algorithm that we're not quite ready to display the details of yet. And it's so secret that the decrypt operation is the same thing. So encryption is decryption with this wonderful new algorithm called XOR. So another great new Vista feature. And if we look at the driver source code, it's pretty much the same thing. It's really simple to ghetto again. We're basically just driving things off command line arguments. It's really easy to register providers with a couple of calls to the config APIs. Register provider, we're basically so we're basically here. We're just setting up metadata, telling it that this is what our algorithm ID is for this cipher. We're doing a cipher interface as opposed to a hash or some other interface. It's local rather than enterprise. The rest of the metadata, we're just doing one interface. This is the DLL that's implemented in. So we install a provider, and then we set up a mapping from that for that particular alg ID. And enumeration of the providers is a simple call. And then we just walk through the file, get the password from the user, create the key out of it like we saw, read it, and encrypt or decrypt whichever operation was asked for. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so that